coding. And why I picked it is because I love to use computers. There's Google Docs, Game, Google autocorrect spelling, and all the other things that are on your computer that needs coding. And because coding is very interesting, because coding is another language, and how much it uses, Lua in particular, it uses brackets and speech marks. And why should coding be important to you is because the coding fosters creativity. Coding helps children with their math skills, improves writing and academic performance. Coding helps children become confident problem solvers. It also boosts brain power, improves your memory, and enhances the ability to multitask, sharpens your mind, enhances decision making, keeps the mind sharper for longer, and your first language is improved. Part 2, my core statement. So I was researching coding, and after researching coding, I have learned about the needs for kids to learn to code. To help schools make this possible, I aim to increase awareness of how important kids learning to code is, and increase mine and others' knowledge of coding to show how easy it can be, and it can be as difficult as you want, and show them some basics. So my business plan, what we do, teach kids to code and teach teachers to know how to teach kids to code. Our vision and is to have kids to learn in schools all over Australia, and then even the whole world. Our mission to teach kids to learn to code in schools all over Australia. And this is my advertisement for doggy coding, and I also have my let this load. Okay, ready? Is my doggy coding room. So this is the front of it, and then through the door, which is to the side, is a lot of desks with computers, and then so some lounging for when the kids want a break, they can sit there, and the stairs, even though it's not multi-story, are for kids to get out energy. So instead of having a huge outdoor area, they can just run up and down the stairs and get out energy. And there's the front desk with the teachers. There's a big screen, and then it connects to the 2 screens on the side, like my computer connects to this screen. And there's some air cons, and then there's a little kitchen area for kids when they get hungry. So coding can make it quicker, because to build in Minecraft it takes a lot of time, and you can't even always get it right. See how long it just takes me to not even build one whole letter. But then, and with some simple coding, I can make it very quickly. So I go into new project. I'll call it called, because I cannot spell. And then, so it already has that there, but I'll get it myself. Chat command and code, and then I put in print, and then I put what blocks I want in, and I want diamond blocks. So I select diamond. I am changing it to run north and printing coding before and after. So then I just press start and then go into separate area and go into chat and type code, and then it's the words starts appearing very quickly rather than me doing it myself.
Wow, that is amazing. Let's give her a clap. So clearly coding is a much easier way than just doing it by hand.
Yes.
Thank you, Amy, for that. Well done.
Sea life. Sea life is important to me because I love nature, especially ocean life. Ocean life is important because we eat the fish, but people are dumping plastic into the ocean, which causes many animals to die. It should matter to everyone, especially Chinese, because they eat lots of seafood. After my research on sea life, I've found out that people have been dumping tons of plastics into the oceans and on the beaches. It's causing sea life to die all over the... Yeah. I've been thinking of making an underground incinerator that will help stop pollution and global warming. Aquify is a company that cleans waterways and takes rubbish underground to an incinerator that will burn the rubbish and takes rubbish to an incinerator that will burn the rubbish and send the greenhouse gases through the soil and filter the gases and make fresh air. Yeah.
Thank you. Give him a clap. Now, Monty, you said that you were looking up and researching sea life. Now, I know you researched specifically some freshwater fish. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, people were putting plastics in fresh waterways as well. And
was there a slide? I think you went past one. How about you tell us some interesting information?
Fish rescue in Murray River, New South Wales, because algal blooms, a type of algae that strains out the oxygen from water. Algae grows when a river or lake isn't flowing properly. The river stretches up to QLD and down to Victoria. The farms in the more droughted part of the country, the food from the rivers, which supplies 1/3 of Australia's food supply.
Wow, that's very interesting. And what does the next point say?
Global warming is shrinking the Colorado River. It's the most important waterway in America's southwest. Rising temperatures could reduce the flow by more than 1/3 by the end of the century. The river's volume has dropped by more than 19% during a drought from the year 2000.
And the final point?
Over Indonesia, rivers have been clogged with plastics such as bottles, plates, stickers, etc. have been piled on top of each other, and it looks like an iceberg just made with waste. The problem is so big that the government called in the army to help clean up the waste. Soldiers are now working in the rivers and the beaches using nets to haul up the plastic. However, this only works partially because as they pull up rubbish, the rubbish floats upstream.
My goodness. So from here you can clearly see that the major problems facing our sea life is plastic and rubbish, as well as global warming. And is that what your aquifer aims to help with?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Monty.
Hello everyone, I'm Jarrett and I'm going to present my project on what matters to me. Part 1, so what? My topic is kitchen, what matters to me subject was kitchen technology, and it's important to me because I love learning about how things work around us, and there are some pretty cool things in the kitchen. Here is an interesting fact about the toaster. Did you know that when a toaster toasts the bread, it removes 35% of the bread's water? My research should matter to other people because it's interesting to know how things you use in your kitchen work. Here is my research on kitchen technology. Well, it's really kind of long and sort of
Maybe
listy.
just go through each slide. Don't need to read it, maybe just show us.
Here is my information about the toaster. Here's my information that I researched about the stove. And here's my information about how a coffee machine works. And here's my information about a blender. And this is my information about like a stand mixer. And then this is my information about a gas grill. And then here's how a slow cooker works. Let's see if I get that one. Part 2. Now what? My course statement is, after researching, I realised that we need to be better at recycling dead technology. It just goes to the tip, which is bad. Lots of countries have a big recycling problem. I researched my course statement by searching up what are the main issues with recycling dead technology. Part 3. Then what? The title of my idea is called the official e-waste website. I created it because I specialise in technology, but I'm not that great at making websites. I created it because I wanted to improve my website making skills, but I also created it because it will help make people think about whether they are disposing of their technology correctly or not. Now, here is my website. What we do. Here at the official e-waste recycling website, we strive for a cleaner world, one that is free from dead phones, broken computers and smashed TVs sitting in dumps and waiting to poison the earth by spilling their chemicals into the ground once they're buried. Why you should recycle technology. If you just toss your broken phone in a standard rubbish bin, it will get sent to the tip, or it will go into landfill and leak its toxins into the ground. That would kill lots of animals because of the food chain. A worm would eat the dirt, and then a bird would eat the worm, and then a snake would eat the bird, and so on. It would also spill into lakes and rivers. What if you tossed it in the ocean? Well, plastic smells like algae, which is food to many different animals, such as krill. And seabirds eat krill, so do some whales as well. So lots of plastic would build up in their bodies and it could kill them. And that's just one of the hundreds of ways plastic is hurting us. Below is a video about how plastic is destroying the world. Want me to show the video? It goes for about 10 minutes. We've seen how plastic is destroying the world, but what about the other main components of technology? Most of the other elements of technology have recyclable components like glass and gold. But people still don't care what happens to their old computer or their old phone. They just toss it in the trash. But now that you know the bad effects of tossing your old tech in the trash, you can make a difference. You can choose to recycle your old technology. This map will show where the nearest recycling centre is and where you can hand your technology over to. So Google My Maps. There are different places that you can see on the map. And that's it.
Thank you, Jarrett. That was very interesting information. You researched a lot about kitchen technologies and how they work. Did you find that a lot of those kitchen technologies get thrown out?
Yeah, once they stop working they just get tossed in the trash and people don't care about what happens to them as long as it's not in their house.
That's exactly right. So this is why you've created this wonderful website of e-waste disposal guide. Thank you, Jarrett.
So my original What Matters topic was music. It's important to me because I like listening to and playing music. I found out that music improves mood, reduces stress and anxiety and improves memory. Music releases endorphins, which is a chemical from the brain that makes people happy. I have learnt about how music helps mental well-being. It comforts, relaxes and motivates. I think they are things that school students need now more than ever. So schools should make a way to allow students to access music to help their mental well-being. Part 3. So the company is called Lux, which I just randomly apparently means light in Latin. And the goal was to help students to
focus on the mental well-being by giving them space, and achieve the goal by giving schools small shipping container room things for the students to use to be on their own and calm down and just have some of their own space. That's the Canva advertisement I made. It's a little bit pixelated. So, can you read that?
You can read it now.
So these are some examples of the rooms I've made. This one is a sports themed room. So there's a exercise bike, ping pong table, there's basketball hoop, and there's some weights in the corner, and there's a cup so you can have water. And here's a cooking themed room, or cooking / study sort of theme. So they can cook, and there's a desk for them to like either search up recipes or do homework if they want to do homework. And there's a couch which you can't see in those photographs.
Thanks for that, Isabel. So I was just wondering, what led you to want to design these mental health spaces for schools? What kind of research did you do?
So research has shown that the mental well-being of Australian students has gotten significantly worse compared to 15 years ago, and a large study conducted by the University of Melbourne and the ASA, I think it was actually the one that like everyone did the other day, surveyed about 135,000 youth from schools from around 700 schools about their social and emotional well-being. And according to the study's findings, nearly half of Australian students reported feeling very stressed, up 28% in 2003 when the study began. Students who reported feeling confident while doing schoolwork fell from 76% to 59%. So 70% of students said they could improve in schoolwork, and 38% said they sometimes gave up when they became confused or bored in class. Another report surveyed 24,055 youth aged 15 to 19. About 1/3, 33.7%, identified mental health as a national concern, which doubled since 2015, which was 14.9%, and all those numbers like have gotten like worse, and they're not like the only numbers there would be. So that's why I created it for like students and kids.
Yes, those are very sad statistics, Isabella. I'm very glad that you decided to research this and create a solution to the problem. Thank you, Isabella.
My topic is music. Music is important to me because it's very good for you and beneficial for your brain. And referring to scientific research, they've shown that music helps your brain develop in lots of different ways, and it uses parts of your brain that isn't usually used. It helps with memory loss, so it reduces it, and it's very calming as well. My course statement is, after researching, I found out that playing a musical instrument is beneficial for your brain and helps you in later life. Some people unfortunately don't get the chance to play an instrument. My company is called Chelsea's Melodies because it just sounds good. I created it because this music centre will give disadvantaged children a chance to learn an instrument that isn't expensive like others. This will help because more children and adults will get exposed to music, and it will boost their moods, health and develop their brain.
That's great, Chelsea. So I can see that you've made Chelsea's Melodies. What is Chelsea's Melodies?
It's a music centre.
Excellent. What kind of music can you learn there or play there? Lots of different kinds?
Yeah, well, mostly instrumental.
Instrumental, fantastic. And did you design a Chelsea's Melodies studio?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
On this website that Amy shared with me.
So it's on the computer, is it? So it's a digital design.
Yeah.
Do you have it here?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can even hear me, but that's kind of what it is. It takes like 7 minutes. And yeah. And since there's no sound, you can just try a lip read if you like, because some people have talent like that. Anyway.
So this is wonderful. So it's a 3D design, and you've created the separate rooms and the entrance.
Okay, that was just me introducing because I thought it would work. Oh my gosh.
Great.
It's very laggy, as you can tell.
Wonderful. So that's the floor design. Excellent, Chelsea. Can we give her a clap?
What matters to me? My topic is the sharks, and they matter to me because I love all animals, but in particular aquatic ones and sharks. Sharks really matter because they help keep our earth working properly by eating some of the fish and other sea creatures that would grow in population too much if they didn't get eaten. Sharks are pulled from the water, have their fins cut off, and their body is thrown back while they're still alive to drown. All of this is just for a few of their fins, just for shark fin soup, which is a tasteless soup just because of texture. The problems for the sharks is, what I've learned from the research is that the body of the shark with its fins attached is worth less than just the fins alone. This means millions of sharks are killed each year just because of their fins and no other reason, as people desperately try to satisfy the cravings for shark fin soup. What I have created is Sharkaware, a group of people dedicated to saving sharks. Each week they'll get together online to think of a new way to help the community stop shark hunting. They will spread the word around and they can build their own group where they live around the world to help sharks. I've created a website called Sharkaware,
and it has all the information about what you can do to help. Thank you.
Well done. That's great, Chloe. Do you have your website here? Do you think we could see it?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is Sharkaware. It has the home, it's got a blog that you can go onto to contact. It has why they matter and what's been happening to the sharks. Sharks are killed just so people can say that they've killed one, just so they can eat the fins, or just to make a profit. It's horrible what happens to them and how they die such a useless and sad death. Thank you.
Well done.
What mattered to me was that bees, really, because they are a very important topic to me, because bees are the keystone of life. I mean, without them, flowers aren't pollinated, trees aren't pollinated, and there's no air. Simple. There are 6 main roles in a bee's life. So worker bees take housekeeping, like cleaning up after the queen and removing all unwanted cells and making sure that everything's nice. And then they will become an undertaker and cappers, which means when they put honey into a cell, eventually it gets to the right temperature and they put a cap on top so the honey doesn't go any warmer or colder, and it sits there until it's ready to be used. Then they will have the very important role of attending to the queen. Like if she was hurt, they would bring her honey to help her heal. If she was hungry, they would also bring her honey and pollen, and they will always be at her side. The next job is collecting nectar for the hive, which means as if they were to go up to a cell, take the nectar out, or take it from another bee, and put it in the place that it's needed. Then they go through the role of being guards. As guards, the bees will protect from other insects like hive beetles who want to destroy the hive for food. And they are the first line of defense in an invasion. And the final role is becoming a field bee, where bees will fly out and find flowers, nectar, and pollen for their hive. Part 2 of my honours project was my cause statement. My cause statement was this: after researching bees, I have found that we are running out of bees. This is because the average number of beekeepers are at the age of 50, and then people start retiring. So Australia needs more younger beekeepers so we don't run out. Part 3. I have created the BBH, or the Big Beehive, because a larger beehive equals more bees. More bees create a stronger hive, and a stronger hive is better for the environment. Like I said earlier, a bigger hive is better for the environment. This is my advertisement for HiveWorks. The BBH is a hive designed to bring out the natural state of bees in their own hives. It provides a more natural setting for the bee to live and work in, rather than working on a box frame. Did you know that bees are actually going extinct? It is estimated that they'll be gone by 2050 if we continue down this path. It's not very nice. Thank you.
Give him a clap. Thank Thank you, Connor. That was wonderful. Now, you said that you did some research for bees right at the very beginning for your What Matters topic. Do you have some slides or some research to share with us?
Yes, I do. In fact, they're right here. This is my Term 1 slides that I created as an example of how bees work and how we can look after them. So these are the different types of bees. There's lots. And there's different types of honeybees. Sounds really weird, but there are. They're up on the screen now. And here are the bee jobs that I have already said. And this is what the bee does. This is either short or long description on them. This is about worker bees. So this is the description on the worker bee housekeeping. The very first job of a worker bee is housekeeping, and the rest of it's up there. This is the next job, worker bee undertakers and cappers. And then there's the nursing young worker bees. And then there's attending to the queen. Then there's collecting nectar for the hive. Then there's guarding the hive. And then there's becoming field bees. Here's the description on the drone bee. And then here's the description on the queen bee. Just a quick fact, the queen bee can lay around 1,500 to 2,000 eggs in one day. That's a lot of little bees. And now you know about bees, you need to know about beekeeping. So these are the appropriate bee suit that most people should have, but you don't really need all of it. And then here are some tools for beekeeping, because when bees are a bit aggressive, you might want to have tools instead of using gloves, because you don't want any squished bees. And here is the first form of hive that you would usually get. It's called a nucleus hive box. And they have around 4 to 8 frames, just to keep the hive small. And then when you upgrade the hive, these are the stages of what they look like. This is some important to remember fact. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Connor. Now, you also mentioned that you have designed an excellent hive, the BBH. Are you able to show us your design and what you created?
Yes, I have it right here as well. So this is a Minecraft game that I've created. It is a giant beehive. So this is the little description. And this is the queen bee. She's a bit sneaky, you have to find her. And all these little buttons are little bees. So let's start. So here we have the entrance to the hive. This is where all bees will fly in and out, and this is where the guard bees would usually sit, around here. Now in the hive, you have lots of frames filled with lots of different types of bees. Well, lots of different bees. And they're all attending to the honeycomb and everything around, and all attending to the brood, which is another word for baby bees. And upstairs, this is where all the honey would be, because that there is the queen excluder that keeps the queen out of this top box. Because if she comes down here, then she'll mindlessly wander around laying eggs, and that's not what you want. You want at least a bit of storage. Now, if you saw the queen earlier, you might be able to spot that she's just here, just hiding. And she's there for a reason, to be laying eggs around on these comb. Need some more? Yeah.
Thank you, Connor. Shall we give him a clap? Well done.
So in honours we had to do our 4 statements, and mine was about full drives and helping them be good to the earth. And so I think full drives are important because it gives me and other people the adrenaline, and I want to own one when I'm older. And the main full drive hotspots in Australia are the Victorian High Country, Tasmania, the Simpson Desert, which is around the middle of Australia, and up in the Northern Territory. The Simpson Desert is basically just lots of sand dunes, but in the wet season it can flood, and when it floods it's like really, it gets dangerous. And the Victorian High Country has some of the steepest tracks in Australia. And Tasmania has lots of rough terrain and sticky, sloppy mud that can be like porridge. And the almond land is next to Cape York and is a remote, swampy land with border crossings and mud. Other people should find full drives important because they can experience the adrenaline for themselves. It is also great for a family activity that is fun for people of all ages. So this is basically Cape York on one of the tracks. It's an obstacle named Gunshot, and I've built it in Minecraft. And there's about several entries and exits to Gunshot, and all of them are mostly vertical. My core statement. I wanted to make a car that can be safe for the environment but better than a diesel engine. Diesel cars will be forced out because they're ruining the earth, and the government is trying to do something about it. The car I will make is good for everyone and enjoyable. Part 3. The electric flood, which is the car I have designed, is a solar-powered full drive. The electric flood is a new kind of full drive. It is powered by solar panels attached to the roof and has a large battery supply. I created this to help the environment and reduce smoke and carbon pollution. It will also allow people to use full drives that are high performing but still good for the environment. And this is the electric flood.
Should you show us how it works?
So you gotta.
So this here is the inside of the body of the car, and what is it getting hooked up to, Hayden?
This is basically the battery supply of the mini version.
Excellent. So this model is showing us that this is an electric powered car, and the battery supply has been come from solar panels that were on the roof. Is that correct?
Yes. And sometimes it works and sometimes it
Oh,
doesn't.
there it goes.
But yeah, so there's motors underneath that kind of drives it, but they're not too powerful, so yeah.
Ooh. And this is the frame of the body?
Yes.
Yeah?
So this is the frame where the solar panels will be attached to.
Yeah.
And it also has a winch here on the front that does work, but it's not motorized. So yeah.
Excellent. So you can pull other cars out of ditches when they need to.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Hayden. Well done. Let's give him a clap.
So the part 1 to this is what matters to me. So what matters to me was originally dairy farming, but because dairy is a part of our everyday life. Because dairy is a part of our everyday lives. It's in almost every meal we have. In Australia, we have a lot of dairy farms, and it's important to our economy. Throughout my research, I extended my What Matters topic to include crop farming. Crop farming is also important because it provides us with food and nutrition to keep us alive. Part 2, the problems and needs of what's impacting my What Matters topic. So the core statement to this is, the problems facing dairy and crop farms is greenhouse gases. Machinery and cows produce greenhouse gas emissions, example, methane gas. These gases destroy the environment and put holes in the ozone layer. Part 3, the then what? So the ISSE 1-1 SCF-SS International Space Station Extension 1 of 1 Space Crop Farm Space Shuttle. It's a big name. The ISSE 1 is an extension onto the current space station. At the moment they have a small crop farm, so this extension will provide the space to build a larger crop farm. The crop farm produces vegetables such as lettuce, carrots, potatoes, and etc. The research done on the ISSE 1 through this expanded crop farm, sorry, it says
It's okay, keep going.
can go towards finding out ways to use this space crop technology on Earth. This will allow us to grow crops quicker and reduce greenhouse gases. This is my Canva thing. And that's it.
Thank you, Noah.
I have another thing though. I have this.
Excellent. Okay, so let's show what this is. Is this the first extension that you're creating for the crop farm?
The first ISSE. This is a bunch of information about NASA and what's going on there and what I feel like. So, introduction. Whilst the title of this seeming a bit corny, this project I've been working on for the What Matters project could change the world. I worked on this for a while, and I worked through problems and solutions and reasons why my project is life-changing, and with that I give you the first ISSE. Excuse the corny ending as well. That's the design. This is my design for the extension rocket. It's not the best, but it's the best I got for a free website, and it's enough to give people an idea of what I'm talking about. The little pocket things on the side of it are actually little doors that fold out, and once they do, they become a farm. They come out with clear plastic called RXF1. RXF1, which is a form of polyethylene, is both stronger and lighter than aluminium, in a sort of bubble-shaped dome. That was carrying on to this next bit. It's shaped with crops inside of it. The crops and how they even work. This is some additional information to it. Should I read it? In space, they use little pillars to actually grow crops. These pillars are important to help distribute water, nutrients, and air in a healthy balance around the roots. Otherwise, the roots would either drown in water or be engulfed by air, because all fluids in space tend to form bubbles. They also use LEDs to help the plants grow. In the absence of gravity, plants use other environmental factors such as light to orient and guide growth. A bank of light-emitting diodes above the plant produces a spectrum of light suited for the plant's growth. Since plants reflect a lot of green light and use more and blue wavelengths than crop germs, typically glows magenta pink.
That's two.
This is the conclusion. So to wrap this all up, my project is kind of a thing that could change lives and is not a waste of time. Even though I didn't manage to make a model out of PVC pipe, I still managed to get the main learning experience out of this. I managed to find NASA technology that is really helping, and what it even is really helping and what it even does. And I've found more information on how crops in space will change their life up there and eventually the entire world. So the point I'm trying to get here is that I'm really glad I did this project because it helped me understand that what matters to me actually should matter to everyone else because it's something that is so important to society. So that's my presentation and I hope you liked it. And please take an understanding of what I've been working on in my time at Oz.
Clap, well done. Thank you, Noah. That was great. Do you have a diagram of perhaps what inside the ISSE1 looks like?
I do.
Fantastic.
So with the that's it with the top. It's really not smart, but that's kind of trying to represent the plastic bubble. But you can get that in this.
Yep.
But this is what it looks like with it off. So I've got little bits of lettuce and stuff, and you can see that the ones in the pots actually go purple because it's called space lettuce, and the LEDs and stuff actually change the growth of the plants and make it, instead of going green, go purple.
Fantastic. So you're saying that with this extension, they can grow more types of crops and they can learn greater things about ways to make crops so that they can help us here on Earth reduce our environmental impact.
And it also does help with stuff like, putting this towards space crop farms and stuff in space is actually helping with space technology to help us find how to put space technology on Earth. Because in space they actually grow crops quicker than they do down on here on Earth. And if we can put money towards stuff in space and actually find out how we can do that on Earth, things will be much easier.
Thank you, Noah.
Part 1, this was the first thing I did in my honours project. The Adani mine matters to me because coal mines are so bad for the environment, and adding another one that is the biggest one in Australia is not a very smart move. People that live near other Adani incorporations in different countries have said the coal makes them sick. Adani has already got in trouble for breaking environmental laws in other countries. This should matter to everyone because the mine could increase global warming as well as animal extinction. This was the Great Barrier Reef 30 years ago. That's it now, and I think that is the cause of the mines. This was part 2 of my time in office. My core statement. After researching the Adani mine, I have figured out that we need to stop investing our money into non-renewable energy, such as coal mines, gas fields, and so on. We should start investing our money into non-renewable energy, such as wind farms, solar panels, wave energy, and many more. This is what that was the third thing I did in my time in honours. With my time in honours, I have created a website about wind farms called Benergy. I have created this website to show people there are better ways to make energy than coal mines, nuclear fields, and many more. Hopefully it is going to help by encouraging people to get solar panels and make wind farms just get involved with renewable energy. This was some of the stuff I made on this. I made a logo, I made a Canva project, and I also made my own design of a wind farm. I created a model of a wind turbine on a website, but I could not show it to you because I could not find a website. This was my website that I made to teach people about energy. That's some information about renewable energy. Other things on this website include information about non-renewable energy and about why I made it. I made the website to teach people about renewable energy and why we should get involved.
Thank you, Ben. That's wonderful. Now, when you looked and researched about the Adani mine, were there a lot of people who were against building the Adani mine?
There were definitely more people that were against it than for it, but the government let them go ahead, and I'm just one of the people trying
to know about it. Well, I think this is a great solution, and I think that lots of people can learn about renewable energy resources and how we can help our planet. Thank you, Ben.
So part one, what matters? What matters to me is sharks. Sharks are important to me because they're interesting animals that are majestic and powerful. One shark I researched was a smooth hammerhead shark. This shark interested me because it is endangered. It should matter to other people because the loss of sharks will affect life on land as well. This is a Canva I created, and I also added a moving background and photo and music. I can show you that if you want it.
How about you read it for us?
Yeah. So this is a Canva I made, and it was sharks hunted, killed, finned. Sharks are real creatures. As humans, we have control over a lot of the planet if we want it. So I think we should pay more attention to the sharks as well as the other animals, and we should stop hurting them and finning them, because we just chuck them back in the ocean and their bodies just sit at the bottom of the sea and die. My core statement is, after researching sharks, I have learned that they need to be protected, otherwise life on the ocean won't be the same. Fish won't get eaten, so they will multiply, and then there will be too many fishies in the water. In part 3, then what, I created the shark fin protection suit. I created it to save sharks from finning, and it will protect the sharks' fins so they can't get chopped off. Throughout the whole world, illegal shark finning is happening. People on boats go out, they'll catch a shark on the net and then bring it into the boat. When the boat gets back to shore, they'll carry the shark out and they get a big knife and they chop off its fins just for shark fin soup. This happens in Australia, but a world without sharks isn't a world at all. This is my Canva I created. There's pictures of finned sharks, and 30% of sharks are endangered. And up here at the top you'll see my logo. It's Sharktastic. And this here is Minecraft I made. That's the shark fin protection, and I can show you that in Minecraft. This is my Minecraft world, and so this is the shark fin protection suit. In the tail, you'll see it. Oh. Hang on, we'll just cut that part out. I didn't mean to do that. In the fins, you'll see that they all have a command block in them, and when you go into the command block, it will say you can protect the wearer of the fins.
So when the sharks wear them, they will be protected.
So Tim, this is a type of armour that they would wear, that sharks would wear over their fins.
Yes.
And are you unable to cut the fins because they're wearing this armour?
Yes.
Excellent. Do the sharks also get tracked using these this fin armour?
No.
No.
They are made. They're made of carbon fiber, so they're not metallic, so you can't use a big magnet or anything to capture them.
So
And they won't even notice that they're on their fins.
That's excellent. So the purpose of your product is to purely protect the sharks from finning. Fantastic.
And they're not too heavy that they will drag them down. Because if a shark stops moving, then it will drown.
Thank you. Well done. Let's give him a clap.